Welcome to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout here at CIOE 97.5 FM. I'm your host, Maurice Aucoin, and we are streaming live to the world at www.communityradio.ca. We are going to discuss and celebrate independent artists' music from all over the Atlantic region and beyond. Let's all get on the Atlantic Indie Roundabout right now.
Thank you, life, for I only know a little of the sorrow in this world. Thank you, life, for not counting the mistakes I make so much, and for the second chances you keep offering up. Sometimes I drink to the hard times, and I come undone, for sparing me some. Thank you, love, for changing as we grow, and for whispering in my ear when I'm all alone. Thank you, love, for being so kind and for glowing in the worried looks between your eyes and mine. Sometimes we drink to the hard times, and our broken hearts bust open wide. In hotel rooms, yeah, we've wrecked our share. Here's to another one. Thank you, Lord, for giving me this one. Thank you, time, for the beautiful frames and the space to play with the rhythm and the rhyme. Thank you, time, for being kind to my body and leaving all that's behind me right where it belongs. Sometimes we drink to watch you passing by. Thanks for slowing down a little on these special nights, for healing old wounds and righting old wrongs. Oh, thank you, time. Hope we still have some for marking miles and stones in a race that can't be won. Oh, thank you, time. Hope I still have some.
Welcome to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout, and it's a treat to have Leona with us tonight. And it's the second time we've done a show together. Last time was the live stream, and now we've been promoted to FM. It's great to be part of the team. It's nice to have that kind of support at a community level radio stations when the big box stations don't really have that agenda.
CIOE have been amazing. Every time I put out something new, Martin is incredibly supportive. Ron, Tony, Mumbercat.
To have that arsenal in your briefcase, when you put out a new album and you have your targets. And how many albums do you have now?
I have 2 EPs and 2 full length.
There's so many community radio stations, and now there's so many more online. People are doing shows all over the world. You don't get signed to a record label anymore, and you're a one-man team or a one-woman team. The team could be you.
Yeah. I get really great support from Cape Breton, local and community stations. The Hawk is like, mid-market, but they're my hometown.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't have a publicist, but as you know, you pick up the skills that you need along the way.
That's right.
Hopefully it's enough to kind of build a little bit of momentum, but I really like being a regional artist. I love to do little mini tours regionally and have my friends and contacts and fans within arm's reach, and it's a little ecosystem, and it's hard work and you have to build relationships. But if the product is strong and you're proud of it, it makes it really easy to be like, yo, what's up? Here's my hot new record.
But that's right. You're your own voice. You're your own publicist. I still like to say we. Even if I'm publishing, if it's something I'm doing, I still it's we. It's always you present yourself as a team. The little things you learn along the way, the unselfish way of presenting yourself. And you say you like to do it regionally. You have a family to keep in mind. You're not running off and doing like cross Canada tours too often and stuff like that.
Not often. It's not to say that I wouldn't, but as there are many tiers to this wonderful industry. And sort of the tier that I'm at, is looking at regional festivals, building up the fan base regionally, because I know for the next few years I still have small kids, right? So sometimes
That's what I was saying. You're
I
a
bring
family.
them with me, or it's nice to play venues that are within a day's drive.
That's right.
Should I build the kind of momentum that gets me to another tier, well, I'll happily cross that bridge.
And and the children are getting older with you too, and your children are aging as you're doing it. So maybe it's and if you get super famous and you make a lot of money, then you can have the nanny on the road with you, and then the whole.
It'll be amazing.
You'll have
It'll
a team,
be just like that Pink documentary.
Yeah, the same idea.
My daughter was laughing at me. She was like, "Mom, that's just like you, except it's Cape Breton style." I'm like, I know, buddy. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So the first two songs are these we played tonight are off the new album. Did you do that album at Lake Wind Studio?
No, I didn't. This album is like revolutionary for me because I did it out of my Cape Breton comfort zone, and we did most of the recording at Ocean Floor here in Halifax.
Right.
So Charles
Austin
and Frank's place. Yeah.
Yes.
And Charles opened the studio up for us, gave us an awesome rate, hung around, and I recruited Andrew Gillis, AJH Gillis, and in a former life, Andrew ran a studio with Charles, and he's a sound engineer. He knows what he's doing. I really loved working with Andrew because I wanted to dabble in a loose, almost self-produced album, but I don't speak the language of the studio very well.
No.
So he came on board as my compadre,
producer,
my translator, my producer, my moral support. He did an awesome job.
And understanding what you're trying to put out and get it. We'll be right back with Leona Burkey here in the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with Maurice Aucoin at CIOE 97.5 FM and streaming to the world at www.communityradio.ca.
Lines so sweet. She's not afraid of a great big sea. She's a little like me. She's a little like me. How I wish I was captain of the Margaret Reed, with my arms feeling strong upon the track. There's a swell under my feet. There's a swell under my feet, and the sun, she's warming up my back. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. How I wish I was captain of Margaret Reed. Just my bonny boat and me. Maybe one more guy to help me in the dark. My compass doesn't fail me till there's pearls in my way and diamonds on the sea. Boys, you gotta work this hard if you wanna live this free. How I wish I was captain of the Margaret Marie. And if I could afford her, I'd trade anything. But my brother, he'll fish her, that son of a bee. But he won't love her like me. He won't love her like me. How I wish I was captain of the Margaret Marie. So I'll wash the salt out of my hair and try to look pretty. How I wish I was captain of the Margaret Marie. Yes, I'll strap a trap onto my car and head back to the city. Still I wish I was captain of the Margaret Marie. Oh, my Margaret Marie. kept one eye on the shifted crowd. The show was alright till it was time to close. And I wandered the streets of a storybook town, trying to keep myself together. And I was all alone, save the dark faces of stone staring down. If only you'd come. So won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go? Oh, when you go. I've been chasing you around now for 6 years or more, I don't know. Why don't you ask me? I'd give up all my crazy ways. So won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go? If only you hadn't missed all of those nights when I sang your song. I know I've been fixated on all the wrong things. You were right all along. And I can't change what's done, and I just want to run to you and fight for it. Don't you want to? Don't you want to? Don't you want to? Take me to Calgary with you when you go. Oh, when you go. I've been chasing you around now for 6 years more, I don't know. So why don't you ask me? I'd give up all my crazy ways. So won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go? There's a cloud in front of my eyes. I can't see clearly like I used to, but I can feel the cold spot in your heart. You don't love me like you used to. So won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go? Oh, when you go. I've been chasing you around now for 6 years or more, I don't know. So why don't you ask me? I'd give up all my crazy ways. So won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go? Won't you take me to Calgary with you when you go?
That was Calgary by Leona Burkey. And just before that, Margaret Marie. And now we continue our conversation with Leona in the Roundabout. And this album is, I mean, the cohesiveness is amazing. And you got like a dozen, 10, including yourself. We're talking like 10 musicians get credits on there. So, and I know, Tom Rich, he's been on the show and he plays with you.
Yeah, Tom Rich, he did a really great job. He played all of the bass on the album and a lot of really melodic bass parts that are not just standard rhythm tracks, right? Like he really put a lot of creativity, extra time, working out parts and things I was hearing. And he does a lot of amazing backup vocals too, because he has a really unique voice. And the backup vocals are all boys.
When you're a female performer and you're in the studio with a bunch of guys and you're looking for background harmonies and such, right off the bat, that's something I never considered.
Yeah.
You got to find the right kind of voices that are going to blend with you.
Yeah, I really loved it. You can do so many tricks in the studio, and this record for me was more, can we get it down to basics? Drums, bass, your keys, your nice guitar parts, but without I really wanted an authentic sound, and it's as close as we can get. You know, we captured it. I wanted something. My last 2 records were recorded and produced at Lakewind, and they have such a beautiful system there, and the product was really beautiful. Like, I recommend Lakewind any day. But this was a lower budget project, and I wanted to tap into the endless talent that's here in the city, right? Instead of booking off to Cape Breton, which is wonderful too. Yeah. And I wanted a little bit more of a groove and a bit of an edge to the record, so there's no fiddle. There's not a lot of mandolin. There's not a lot of that, kind of rootsy sound. It's a little more folk forward, right? I guess it's felt like a leap into space for me. But even with vocals, like, you can go in the studio and record yourself singing harmony, and it will sound perfect. But I cannot stand the sound
of yourself singing with yourself,
singing harmony with myself. It makes me cringe and want to.
Do you double track?
Rarely. I don't much like the sound of that either. Okay. I like to keep it really real.
I noticed that there's a lot of strings on this album. There's a lot, like guitars and mandolins and banjos, and so there are keyboards on the album. But would you call this? It's more of a fretted instrument kind of album.
It is very
much so.
Like the first half of the album was recorded really conventionally, and then the second half, all the beds were done, and then COVID came. So that's why there's so many musicians, because we were like, well, may as well make lemonade. So we were able to recruit musicians that were kind of stuck at home, right? So John Mullane plays guitar on a cover of the Poppy Family. Like, that's my dream. I'm so excited. But it's because he was at home, stuck at home during COVID, so we tracked remotely. And then we had Robbie. Robbie lives in Nashville, and he did keyboards on the second half, but he was just at home. So we tracked them remotely after the beds were done.
It's the new thing, and they're getting better at it. I've been dabbling with it myself on some of my projects, and the hardest thing I'm finding, and I'd like to ask you about that, because maybe you can help me. I'm just finding that I'm trying not to waste their time or mine, and communication back and forth. Like, if I could just have been in the room with them and said, look, it's in 2 seconds, I could have explained it to them, but the track will get passed back 2 or 3 times until you get it the way you like it. Have you had a lot of that, or they pretty well got it nailed right the way you wanted it?
Well, the bed, I was so happy with the bed tracks that anything else was like just icing on the cake. So Robbie Crowell did keyboards on the second half, and his touch is just so wonderful. So I think because the musicians that we had remote tracking, they had those solid bed tracks as a reference. Okay. It was kind of like they could do no wrong, because it was all there, And we took all of those tracks that came back, and we took them all. Like, they were, we just got lucky. They were really, really good.
This is your first experience doing remote tracking on this album?
Definitely, yeah.
It's not a skill set that's going to go away, even after we can still get together in the room. You still have friends in Nashville that can do this. Yeah. I have friends all over the world that can help me. I get a mandolin track I'm tracking down from Scotland,
Pretty cool.
And once people start realizing that the world got really small during pandemic, the least we can do is make the most of what we learned. Yeah. And the fact that you think of how many musicians that we can pull from now, and even though it might be a little bit more complicated, well, you're not traveling. Yep. You're not spending a plane ticket, So, and when you in times of tight budgets, you can still pull from the people that you want to get. It's a wonderful new concept. I'm sure everybody's going to get better and more comfortable at it as we go along. And it's nothing new. I think people have been doing it for quite a while, but not everybody like you and I. Like, we're forced to learn. You are listening to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout here at CIOE 97.5 FM and streaming to the world at www.communityradio.ca.
It's hard to think when you're non-stop talking to me. As much as I love your company, I'm lost in a regret-filled reverie. Turn right but I found one. And I found one running down Old Molly Road. It's hard to think of anything better than a quick tune up and let's go get 'em. For to heal my heart, full boy's confession, and to spill my guts in a story worth telling. She whines and she weaves past old farms and glens of green, from the blue red door to where the sweet Myra flows. I'm going to be with them again. My old man told me time and again, there's no shortcuts in life, you know. But I found one. And I found one running down Old Morley Road. It's a perfect day with the perfect sounds. Thanks for showing me another way than the long, hard way around. She whines and she weaves past old farms and glens of green, from the blue red door to where the sweet Myra flows. I'm going to be with them again. My old man told me time and again, there's no shortcuts in life, you know. But I found one. And I found one running down Old Molly Road. Just rolling down Old Molly Road. Sometimes it's hard to fill the space you leave. The morning sun, she tries and spills her light all over me, shining on the dust of dark, dark dreams. Floating bits of doubt in the new day air I breathe. Shattered goes the beautiful myth where I believe I'm the one you need to be with. Scattered goes the last of my girlhood. Could it be that I've somehow the beautiful myth where I believe I'm the one you need to be with. And scatter goes the last of my girlhood. Could it be that I've somehow misunderstood? And if you gotta go, then don't be gone too long. I know you gotta go, don't be gone too long. I feel like you don't know I need you to make me strong. And if you gotta go, then don't be gone too long. And if you gotta go, then don't be gone too long.
Welcome back to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice Aucoin. And we are in conversation with Leona Burkey. Great that you got an album out during the pandemic. A lot of people couldn't find their way through the pandemic. And some people were prolific through the pandemic. Your songwriting, have you written more songs during the pandemic because of being locked down and such? Or did you find life got quite complicated in the pandemic and affected your output?
Buddy, 2 words, like homeschool. Homeschool.
Yeah.
How I write songs is I save. I'm not like the world's greatest guitar player, so when I hear like a little lick or I discover a little walk down or something that I like, or a rhythm or a sound, just something that pops into my mind for the music side of things, I just kind of save it. Like I'll do a quick recording or reference it somehow, and I put it in the shoebox. And it's the same with writing. I really hesitated to try to write the pandemic experience because I found it a little meh. I appreciate and loved a lot of the pandemic songs that came out, right? But I just didn't want to write one. I'm like, no. So I have, where I am now is I call them my nuggets, right? So I have a bunch of nuggets in the nugget box, and I'm just looking ahead to the next project. But I doubt the next project will have a song about isolation on it. I feel like we were all dealing with the same thing, and it just didn't inspire me at all. Actually, it inspired me to do a lot of other things. It inspired me to like get my music business shit together, work harder on being a good mom, keeping my kids safe, making sure everyone's happy. But I didn't find the pandemic experience a writing catalyst. I did not. I think the reason why I didn't write any pandemic songs is because this record was an accidental pandemic record. Like, we had it done.
Right.
And we just had to finish it during the pandemic. It's just sometimes it happens, and it's delightful when that happens. So this is a record that I can sit and listen to. It touches on courage, gratefulness, despair, defiance, being a little lost, being a little inauthentic, and having this experience kind of give you a bit of a wake up. All of those concepts are in this accidental pandemic record. So I'm like, that covers that.
If you have a depressing album, it'll be like, well, that was that dark album. You know what I mean? Or if you have one of those albums, that was a little bit light and fluffy on that one, and it's not really my sound. But when you have all those emotions, you're going to hit everybody on that record.
Yeah, there's a lot on
And you're
there.
saying it was accidental, so...
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was very serendipitous, right?
Isn't that wonderful?
Come on, you name a record sitting tight and then a global pandemic hits. People are like, clever. I'm like, I didn't do it on purpose. It was a total accident because I'm so slow. We're so slow making records.
Did you do much writing and recording while you were in Calgary? Did you start up basically when you came home?
I did some. I moved out to the Edmonton area. I think it was 99, and we were there for 10 years to the day. So it took me a couple of years to kind of meet my peeps, and I did a lot of the open mic host gig. I did so many of those when I was out west. And I got them because I was friendly and a little goofy, which is my nature from being from here, right? That really helped a lot. And for a little while, I played music full-time the scene was booming. I played everything from the pubs to some festivals to, different kinds of rooms, just different kinds of music, and played a lot, paid my dues, figured out how to do it. How do you hold a room? It's easy to do around, it's easy to do in the pub in Halifax when it's filled with your friends. So I did a lot of demoing, played in a few different bands, but I was never quite happy with either my own skill set in songwriting, because when you come from a place like Cape Breton, if you're going to write a song, it better be damn good.
There's no disguising the fact that you're from Cape Breton.
Yeah.
Your music says Cape Breton. The Margaret Marie is a beautiful song. Where else in the world could you write a song like that? I don't know, or that. It's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorite songs you've ever recorded, actually. And I just like your sense of melody. I can't get over it. It's breathtaking. You're a great singer that way.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. And I'm definitely a melody-driven writer and arranger, so that's nice to hear.
Yeah, because you can take three chords you take three chords and you've sung a dozen notes through it eloquently, and you've got your own voice, and I think that's one of the reasons why you're loved by so many. Welcome back to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice Aucoin. We're now going to hear some live music in the studio with Leona Burkey. You know what? Since we're in the studio like this, since we started on the air, we haven't done a whole lot of in the studio performing yet since the show started. And since we're here with our fancy guitars, it might be a nice night to hear us play a song. Why don't you play one of yours, and we'll talk about that.
Yep. Sonder is a new word that I borrowed from a book of obscure sorrows, surely written for these modern times. And everyone amongst and all around you just passing by, living their own lives. I can feel my tired heart catching on to my soul, and I wanted so much and I worked so hard, so I'm told. And when they meet, will it set me free, or will I have just grown old? I know you're trying hard to teach me something. I've never been good at learning lessons, but I make a note every time. My happiness is a broken line and it's drawn to you. Can you see me through? I can feel my tired heart catching on to my soul, and I wanted so much and I worked so hard, so I'm told. And when they meet, will it set me free, or will I have just grown old? And if you get there first, can you send back word? Did you hear the angels sing? It's such a shame that the price you pay is everything. I can feel my tired heart catching on to my soul, and I wanted so much and I worked so hard, so I'm told. And when they meet, will it set me free?
Fantastic. There you go. There's Leona Burkey right here in the Roundabout. This is great. Turned into a kitchen party now, isn't it?
Sweet.
There you go. Lovely. Yeah. So, did any of your songs turn out differently than you envisioned, and yet you were totally happy with it? Or did they pretty much all stay the course?
A couple. I'm real, like, I don't have a real technical setup at home. Like, I have a super simple home studio, and I literally use it to demo. Like, hey, here's a tune I'm working on. Check it out. Like, that kind of stuff. I'm like real tenacious with my songs. Like, and everybody's process is different. But I would never go into a studio with a half-written song and leave the rest of it to the wind. Like, just me personally, that's the stuff of nightmares. So, like, even co-writing, like, I'm not a great co-writer. Like, I like to, I work on the nugget, I chop up the nugget, I fix up the nugget, and I know when it's done.
That's
and
right.
And it's just like a feeling, okay, that's done, like the song is born. So it's really nice when you can work with a bunch of guys, like for this last record, where they're happy to play within the boundaries of the arrangement you bring in, right?
Yeah.
Here's your charts, let's rock and roll. But there was one song in particular, it's called Fable, and it's so light and airy, and I love it so much. And it's an older song, and I had never been able to record it in such a way that I really liked it, but I didn't want to give up on the song. So I thought, okay, I've got Tom here. Jordan Murphy is an incredibly insightful and skilled drummer. I had Phil Sador in the room. I'm like, man, if there's ever a time I can catch the groove properly on this song, it's today. And we did it. So that song changed in vibe on purpose, and we got it. Like, I was really, really happy with it. But most of them, outside of, like, our drummer Jordan has a producer's mind, so he would look at the arrangement and be like, hey, after this bridge, should we stop? Do you think we should take a rest and then cut in? Or maybe let's end on the E and create some tension, or so it was little. And I'm very willing to, like, take that kind of change, but overall I'd say, like, the arrangements remained about 80% intact.
When you bring a song in, like you said, you've honed your song. When you have a song like that you're not giving up on it, and you've got a collective of musicians in that room that are the best combination you could ever ask to try something like that, it was definitely worth not giving up on. So, and you work so hard, like you were saying, if you're working that hard on your songs, like laboring over every syllable and every word, then you must be one of the easiest people to record with. Because there's
pretty easy.
Yeah, because you pretty much laid it all out. It's
really interesting. I think it comes from playing alone a lot. Like, I play as a solo performer.
You've been hitting it out of the park since you started.
Sure. Well, the team is really important. Like, this last time, I can't. Like, I've been lucky enough to walk into the two main studios I've worked with, and the team there is amazing, right? And then this last one, I was just lucky. Andrew Gillis knows, he's been around longer than me.
He's been around forever.
He knows tons of people, and he knows me. So that double knowledge helped him pick. He's like, I got the guys. Yeah. This guy, that guy, and he picked perfectly. I can't, like, say enough. The guy, high-five him and annoy him and embarrass him with lavish compliments every time I see him.
Leona and I sat down in the studio and we covered an old song by the band, I Shall Be Released. It was a lot of fun to do, and we hope you enjoy it.
They say that everything can be replaced. They say the distance is not far, but I remember every face of everyone that put me here. I see my light come shining from the
shall be released. Yes, every man needs protection. Yes, every man must fall. Yet I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above this wall. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released.
Yonder standing me in this lonely crowd, a man who swears that he's not to blame. And all day long I hear him crying out loud, just crying out that he was afraid. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released.
Nice job. Right on.
But
Excellent.
That's pretty good.
Fabulous. What a pleasure having Leona Burkey here in the studio tonight. Fantastic.
That bare spring day in 56, a faithful march for Corpus Christi. Railroad foremen threw words of hate from Anglo tongues that can't relate to calloused hands and hearts of love for body and blood of Christ above. But Irish pride, it will survive. Green when trampled, be still alive, yeah. Riot out to the shanty, feeling lucky now, are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise thy fist, riot forevermore. Gaelic hearts did rage them on, Halifax sent 100 strong. Militiamen with only one function, squash that riot at Windsor Junction. Riot out to the shanty, feeling lucky now, are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise thy fist, riot forevermore. Bearing chains, their charges read by Joseph Howe, the railroad head. Infamously these words did spew, Catholics be foolish as Muslim or Jew. Riot out to the shanty, feeling lucky now, are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise thy fist, riot forevermore.
Well, the rain's pouring down, got nothing to do, so I put on my player and turn on some music. Cooling down, sliding your feet, dancing to the hooker beat. My phone starts ringing, I knock on my door. My friends come around, they're a little bored. Relax, I tell them what works for me is dancing to hooker John Lee. A boom, 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 gonna shoot you right down, knock you off of your feet. I'm in love with you. A boom, 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 take you home with me. Well, the girls love the boys, dancing with them, and the boys love the girls, human rhythms. Another day of playing doctor for me, dancing to hooker John Lee. I want bourbon, I want scotch, I want beer. Hey, Mr. Bartender, come here, I want another drink, and I want it now. My baby, she gone tonight. I ain't seen my baby since the night of full light. I want bourbon, I want scotch, I want beer. Little Julian Blick on this. Open the floor, the cure is music, moving your feet, dancing to the hooker beat. A boom, 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 gonna shoot you right down, knock you off of your feet. I'm in love with you. A boom, 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 take you home with me. A boom, 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 gonna shoot you right down, knock you off of your feet. I'm in love with you. A boom, 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 take you home with me.
That was Dancing to John Lee by Richard and Somebody's Kids. And just before that, we heard Ngorley Shanty Riot by Callahan. We hope you enjoyed the show this week, and we certainly hope to see you next week in the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice Aucoin. And on that note, we're going to leave you with a song by Cody Michael Roberts, Your Heart and Mine, featuring the luscious guitar work of Russell Brennan. See you next week on the Atlantic Indie Roundabout, here at CIOE 97.5 FM and streaming to the world at www.communityradio.ca.
Maybe I was thinking about forever being you. Right here with me is where you belong. It seems our fate lies with the hands of time. As you walk your road and I walk mine, someday our hearts will meet again, girl, somewhere down the line. 'Cause your heart ain't mine. We can travel through time with your hand in mine. There ain't no mountain we can't climb. Girl, between you and me, our love can shine like the sun. 'Cause your heart and mine can be as one. Well, now time has gone by, everything is said and done. You're still always on my mind. I still can feel your touch, I still can see your smile. I wanna hit that button and rewind. For you I wanna be the best that I can be. You fire up my passions, set me free. Take a look inside your heart, girl, and tell me you agree. I see your heart and mine. We can travel through time. Put your hand in mine. There ain't no mountain we can't climb. Girl, between you and me, our love could shine like the sun. 'Cause your heart and mine can be as one. And girl, between